The router we use today actually originates from a small hand tool, one designed to follow a surface and duplicate it below. Modern routers work the same way, but there has always been one big problem. Once the area you're cutting gets larger than the base of the router, you lose support. To get around that, we'll make a router sled that extends the reach. This is part of a larger Onion project centered around a square plexiglass baseplate. Check the description for more projects that work with this concept, but for now, with the sled, let's get started. These are pretty much all the materials here that we're going to need to make this project. You'll want your plywood to be absolutely flat. If you can swing it, go with Baltic birch. I'm using 3/4 of an inch. We will be using some hardwood to keep it flat, but it's always good to be able to start with that flatness. I'm going to be using some, I think that this is probably rift sawn lumber. If not rift sawn, you want to go with quarter sawn. The best way to find that you have quarter sawn oak is by looking at the front, at the medullary rays that are very pronounced, but also to look at the ends where they look like they're stacked. All the materials and all the tools are going to be on the website. You'll have a link for that in the description that you can go to check it all out, but let's go ahead and map this out now. Oh, and also I need to point out that you need to have your plexiglass already cut and mounted. I will have a place on the website that you can go to show how to do this. My plexiglass is exactly 8 inches by 8 inches, and I need to cut out a section on this so that this fits exactly flush with the top of my plywood. To do that, I'm going to take a yardstick and I'm going to go exactly the half of this. This is exactly 26 inches. So I'm going to make a mark at 13 inches. Now I'm going to want to go 4 inches one way and 4 inches the other way. 4 inches from 13 is going to be 9. 4 plus 13 is going to be 17. But what I want to do now is find the center of this. So I'll add my yardstick again. And that's what I'm looking at right there. Back here at the table saw, I've got my table saw sled, and I want to raise my blade so that it's just right at the top of the surface here. That looks pretty good right there. I've extended my lines from the bottom, the lines that we marked earlier, and I just want to make a cut on either side, and then I want to hog the middle out with my router. Now that I've defined the edges on my plywood, I'm going to go ahead and take my router now, and I want to lower this down. I've got a straight bit in here so that it's the exact thickness of my plexiglass. And that feels good right there. Now I'll start at the center and I'll cut one way, and then I'll come to the other side and cut the other way. Now when I go to fit this in here, I'm just slightly off, just by a hair. I'm going to take this back over to the table saw and clean it up. Now we'll see if it fits in a little bit better. That's perfect. Flush on the edges, I'm good to go. With my plate off, I found that I'm really close to 6 inches from one side to the other. So I'm going to go with 6 inches. I'll take a ruler and mark at 4 inches on one side, 4 inches on this side. I'm also going to find the center this way, which is 5 inches, 5 inches again. When I put this across, I'm at 10 inches. So I'm going to put a mark at 2 inches on this side and 8 inches over here. And this 6-inch center is where my router will go. I'll do 1 inch on one side and 1 inch over here. I'll place this on top, and I'm just going to basically try to center between those marks. Now I'll draw a mark around the perimeter, and because I've got two flat sides, I'm going to rotate this around and I'll mark it again. Now I need to cut this center out so that this will fit right on my plate from the top down. To cut the circle out, I'm going to be using my router table that I created in the first project. I'll have a link to that at the end of this video, as well as in the description. You don't need to have a router table to do this. I just think that this is a better idea. My bit is going all the way through the plywood, so a cut like this is okay to do, but when we make cuts, we need to make sure that we're cutting very little at a time. Don't try to ram this in up to the line because that would be very dangerous. To protect the router and the bit, we really only want to do a little bit at a time until we get up to that line. I've got it to fit in here now. I had to shave off one side just a little bit. I've got a little bit of a cosmetic difference, but because this fit in here perfectly, the plexiglass, it's where it needs to be. The next thing we need to focus now on is to drill the holes out so that we can attach this. If you made the router anchor already, you'll already have a couple holes in this. So I'm going to show you two different ways to do this so that you can do it either way and it'll be easy for you. The first way is that if you already have the holes drilled out, I'm going to take one side off, I'm going to put a piece of stock here, and I'm just going to clamp it. Make sure that that is flush with the plexiglass, and it is. I'm going to take the screws out. Now I'm going to take my plastic, flip it around, and I can now mark out that side. So I've got that side done, and of course I forgot to do the first side. But there we go, I've got all my holes ready to drill out. Now if you decided not to do the router anchor, I'm going to show you a second way to do this. All that you're going to need to do this is a carpenter square, speed square here. I'm going to come in this side to the 15. I'll make a mark there, and then I'll do the same thing on this side. 15 here and 15 there. So now that you've got your marks, we're going to go ahead and drill these out. Because this is a little bit more difficult to find the center on, I'm going to flip this over, and this mark here I'll use. I'll line that up over the top, get that centered as much as I can, and then I'll just add a 1/4 inch bit, which is what I used originally, and that's pretty center right there. I'll come to this side, then I can flip it to the other side. Again, I had it like this. And now I can take this over to the drill press and drill each of these out at a 1/4 inch. If you've already made the router anchor, you can just add your bolts in, and then add the nuts on the top. At this point, you can take it over to the drill press and drill each of these out using a twist bit and not a brad point bit, as brad point bits can break the plastic. But I'm gonna pretend like I don't have these drilled out yet. I'll go ahead and add the screws back in the top. I'll add these clamps back on. I'm gonna add F clamps to make this really tight. I'll go ahead and take my squeeze clamps off, and now I can remove this again. I've got this flipped over and I've got it clamped on my tabletop. I added a sacrificial board below, and I'm just gonna go ahead and drill out the holes from the top down. And I am gonna use a twist bit to do this. It just drills a lot better in plastic. Now you would just take this, flip it around to the other side, and drill the other holes out. Finally, we need to add a countersink hole so that our screws are flush to the surface. I'm going to be using a single flute countersink bit to do that. Okay, now it's time to add the braces on the top, and this will just make sure that our plywood stays flat in time. The way that I have this planned out is to add braces across the full length here, and then add cross braces along the length. The way that this will work is I want to cut up to 3/4 inch and then over 3/4 inch. Since these are 1.5 inches, that'll give me the exact half difference on each piece. That means that we're going to need to cut out a corner of each of the braces as well as the two longer braces. The first thing that we need to do is raise our blade so that it's 3/4 inch above the top of our sled. Now when I check this out, I'm exactly 3/4 inch, and that's where I want to be. The next thing I need to do is add a stop so that I'm exactly 3/4 inch away. And to do this, we also need to include the blade thickness. I'm going to slide this over so that I'm right at 3/4 inch. So now if I look at this, it looks like I am exactly 3/4 inch. To make my inside notches, it's going to be really easy. I'm going to move my stop over 7 inches from the blade. So at 7 inches here, I can put my stop block back up here. With this in position, I'll go ahead and place this against my stop, and I'm going to make my cuts. So I'll make one cut, flip it, do the other side, and then do the same with the last piece. What I need to do now is loosen up my stop, and I'm going to move my block over just the width of my cut. So I'll place my tooth right on the outside of that cut that I made, and then I'm going to lock my stop block down. I can take the braces that I made earlier, I'll place it right up against my stop block, and then I can make a cut. And with both of my edges defined, I can hog the rest of this out. Now I can place this on the top and add my pieces, and everything looks pretty good. The only problem that I see is that I'm just a little bit proud on the top of my inside braces. So what you can do if you have this problem, we'll take one off, and then we're just going to use a sanding block to get it a little bit closer. Just need to make sure that you keep it square as you sand. I can try that now, and we'll see if it's any better. And that is much, much better. We still need to add our handles. And really this is up to you as to where you want to put them, but I think I want to place mine right about here, something like that. I want to be a little bit closer on the inside. With my router anchor, I use a 3/4 inch dowel, but I think I'm going to switch up to, this is I think 1 1/8 inches, just because I want to have a little bit more grip with this. Because I do want to keep this absolutely smooth on the bottom, I'm not going to drill all the way through here. With just the inside pieces here, I'm going to go ahead and glue them up. Now I can slide them in place. Okay, I'm going to give this about 30 minutes to dry and then we'll come back. And I do want to point out that I decided to move these so that they were right underneath the bottoms here where they really belong, and I took the other ones off. Now that this is dried a little bit, and again, this is probably about 30 to 45 minutes, I'm just going to go ahead and glue the rest of this up. Besides gluing the joints, I'm also going to put some glue on the bottom. I'm also going to add glue to the bottom side of this. I want to add a little bit of weight to the top to make sure everything is flat. So I got a 5-gallon bucket, and this is just about halfway full, that I'm going to add to the top. Now I'm going to give this a few hours to dry before I do anything else. With my frame mostly dry now, I'm going to go ahead and add my glue. As you can see, I've added some notches in the dowel. This will make sure that I get the glue inside of the hole, so it's not all squeezed out when I hammer it in. And here we are, we're done, but I'm going to go ahead and give this about 8 hours to get a better cure on it, and then we're going to try it out. This is why I've wanted this jig for so long. I'm building a base for my table saw cabinet. It's fully laid out in front of me. To make it strong, I needed some large lap joints. So what I did was make my cuts with a circular saw. After that, I chiseled out the bulk, not trying to get it clean or perfect, just breaking it out fast so the router can handle the precision. This step's all about clearing space, not finesse. Now that the bulk is removed, I've set my router to the final depth for the lap joint. All I have to do is run it back and forth over the top to clean everything up. There are 2 ways I can use this jig. For fast, rough removal, I use the handles. But for the final cleanup pass, I use the braces that we built to get really clean, precise cuts. As is, this works great for cuts within half the length of the sled. But if you want to go further, we can expand that reach by adding slotted steel angles along the edges. Let me show you what that looks like. Besides the bracket, you're going to need some wood inserts. I've got 4 here, as well as 4 bolts. These are 1/4 inch bolts. If you look at the brackets, at least my brackets, have this rounded inside corner, which is going to be a problem with our square corners. So what I'm going to do now is take off just a little bit of this edge so that it's a little bit more rounded. I've got a chamfer bit installed on this. I found the center of my 5-foot track, and that comes to 30 inches. And then I found the center of my sled, which is going to be 13 inches. And I've added dots. I'm just going to line them up right now and then add clamps. I'm going to come to these edges here, and I'm going to look for the circles. I'm going to bypass the oval shape because the circle will give me a nice place where I can place that threaded insert. And with a 1/4 inch bit, I'm going to place that on the edge. And I think that these 2 holes are what I'm looking for right now. I'm going to put it right on the edge. This is a brad point bit. This, of course, is going to represent my bolt. I want that to be snug and tight on there so that it keeps it well connected. Make sure that you check to see what your wood insert recommends for drilling these in. I found that mine needs a 7/16 bit. And here's a trick if you're having a hard time getting them in. Add a bolt to the top and screw it in. And now with this attached, we can flatten the top of the slab. Flattening slabs with a router usually takes several passes. This one took me about 30 minutes to get completely flat. I used Unistruts with 3/4 inch particle board spacers. The slab isn't attached to the surface here, but if you try this, be sure to add spacers between your slab and the Unistruts so you don't accidentally cut into them with a router. You can find the plans for this sled along with the router table and the anchor over on my website. Check the description for links. If you enjoyed this project, consider leaving a comment to thank my patrons who help keep everything here free and available to everyone. And remember to keep making things.